played it in the final. You get 2 hardpoint changes here, both Hasi and Protocol. The big thing is, though, in recent matchups, they have lost both of those to Surge, but they're going for it.
They're going for it, yeah, I think both. You've lost by about 100 points. So, Surge, you want to come out swinging in this map 1. It's Major 2, grand finals time, as these guys go toe-to-toe for the 4th time since Neptune has joined this Surge roster. Still, the 2-1 edge to Surge, but trying to even it up overall, and well, win the big one will be FaZe.
Yeah, I think one thing for FaZe is just sort of slow starts throughout these map wins at times, just from individual players. Draws, one of those guys that stuck out earlier, but he's off to 3-0. Finally, you take down Booza, just fighting over time. 0-4 maybe finds the opening. He was going on a flank down the other side of the map. It's going to be Cellium and Draza trying to do what they can to get the players off P1, set up for this P2. It's just trades back and forth at Surge. They find a good amount of time, but the final 10 looking to go FaZe's way.
Well, on one side for FaZe, you know, you win the series, but you obviously, if you look at the overall stats that are like tweeted out, right? Like you're mostly negative outside of Cell because you lose both hard points. Who has to step it up?
It's probably Sim. Like Sim and Draws. Yeah, I think that's who you're probably looking at when it comes to hardpoint is those two.
And Surge, you get the victory coming into this. You know, teams can get hot. We were talking a lot about the Ultra run, how they were hot, thinking maybe they'd be able to win this after not dropping a map, and losers can't do it. You hope you have the hot hand if you are Surge, and so far, you do. You're starting to get up big, but Simp maybe starting to make some plays as he's getting on the board off of his 3 straight after 4 deaths. With 30 seconds remaining here, you want to tack on whatever time you can. We'll keep an eye on number 2. That's kind of your rotation player. Trying to cut people off for mid-map. Helping him will be Cell as well, but you're finding a volume of kills right now if you are Atlanta FaZe. Looking to transition this over towards your P3 and basically have a tie game once you're done with this time. So good answer. And Simp seems to be waking up a bit.
Yeah, you know, he's pulling out a 3rd AR, right? Major 1, it was all about the SMG talk, but I feel like throughout this weekend, we've seen more and more AR play. You know, some Jackal nerfs coming in a couple of weeks ago. You're not exactly sure. Maybe it's map dependent as Cellium wins a big one on the hill. He's up to 4 in a row. Draza is going to read those spawns. And this is what we've seen from Surge. Like, they're a team, they'll pull out 3 to 4 ARs depending on the hill. So FaZe trying to match. Simp was able to match it on that P2 as FaZe take the lead.
No, I think obviously a lot of times it's just map dependent, hill dependent, but just in general, 100%. You've seen more ARs coming out, especially during this stretch in our major. Neptune, though, with the sub, doesn't need the AR. He's finding the openers. Eventually going to be dropped and traded out because it's a double from aBeZy. He's looking for 3, simply too easy for aBeZy. Would have probably had the 4th if it wasn't for his duo and Simp. So after a great start from Surge, these last 2 hard points have been all Atlanta FaZe. Not a huge lead by any stretch, but you've had no noise around the objective for Vancouver Surge.
Yeah, might turn into one on rotation. You're going to have a couple of players. Cellium are going to be down here. You knew exactly where they were spawning, back left side of the map towards the end of that P3, so they were just trying to trap them in. One player was out. That's going to be nasty, trying to find an opening, but FaZe hits it up at this P4. This is the money hill. This is where you need a break if you're Surge.
Pressure on them to break, otherwise this lead could become significant. You're only able to get 1 kill early on. Draza goes huge, he's able to get 3. And as much as we said most of the pressure is on FaZe, when we talk about the most lopsided maybe of modes being hardpoint to Surge, that absolutely puts pressure on the hardpoints though for them.
Yeah,
they need to win those.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, FaZe start to win the hardpoints. Who knows what'll happen? But that will be the early story. Is Nasty, who loves this matchup, struggling right now at 4 and 13. But FaZe, they control P3 and P4. They have a nice lead. Let's go to listening with FaZe.
Get your shit. He's not above you, he's nothing above you. Back up here, weak. Back up here, weak. That dude, slow as fuck down, right? Yeah. Yo, you guys go new. I'm focusing around.
Yeah, keep on, Chris, keep on. I have a gun.
One shot. Nice, shoot up.
I'm going to the right. One shot top. I'm going top end. No, underground. Lip to mid. He's top mid.
I'll see you from Grimace.
Ammo, one shot Booza.
Listen, mid box.
Nate this.
On gun.
Mid box. Snap, one shot mid gun. There's 2 mid gun. I'm trying to go underground. Yeah.
I'm gonna push the rope.
Yeah, go for it.
You're in tower. He went for Grimace. I stopped him.
Top lip. 0-4, I hit him once. Yeah, still there. That's fine.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
I'm name. Show me.
Could be one or tower alley.
One shot. Sidewalk at the top.
Sidewalk, I'm about to dive out.
I threw that over.
Dive out. He's top.
Gun.
Yeah. Top mid, top mid, top mid.
Two lip to do, okay?
Yeah, let's still make guns. Still make guns.
Listen, we should play through time.
O4's on the ground on me.
Alright, we're killing these guys on hold. Take your time, Chris. Take your time. Take your time.
He's on hold. He has a dirty angle on hold.
On hold.
Nasty on hold. All good, all good.
Let's
Yeah.
kill it.
O4's
Let's
something.
here.
Yeah.
Alright, no, Tyler, let's hit time. Let's hit time.
One shot on Nasty.
Let's hit time. Let's triple hit time. Come on.
Team on the ground.
I'm
One
coming.
shot Nasty, yes.
On the ground, there. Push out.
Yeah.
O4 steps mid and top.
Alright, Tyler. Down box. He shot me.
Who's it at? Shot me dead.
Stay down. I'm trying to get it. Stay nice. I don't see him. He's there, he's there. Nasty,
I have
absolutely.
your grandma's.
Yeah.
Two mid.
I can shoot it. I can shoot it.
Top lip and then one's low right. Top lip and then one's low right.
Lights me.
Watch out lights, watch out lights.
I'm one shot.
Oh, step
This
O4,
one you
last
fight.
guy.
He's spawning an ammo. He's spawning deep out.
Box, right.
Yeah, divide.
Right.
I'm in the back.
Time, wait.
Nice,
Right
two.
steps.
Right steps.
Tossing mid.
Well, it was all phases we went into to listen in, then they get absolutely slammed. That P1 hold, the reason Surge are back into this game, and then a great job at P2. It's been a story of throwing blows, as both teams just going back and forth, but Surge right back in it.
Again, just middle map AR dominance from Surge now within 12. What a comeback. But what was the difference the first set through is this P3 and P4. Who's already there to land a phase? As Cell's going to find 2 on this rotation. The first 10 seconds going their way. Sim, he knows 04 trying to hit it on the back, but he's going to get taken down. 04 was on 5 in a row as Celium trying to just help his teammates on the hill.
Still, a good amount of time already earned here at P3, but a really good opportunity now to collapse and break on this. If you're Surge, you win 2 big gunfights. That might be enough to get it done. Don't let draws PC up, and you do just that. Good job pushing out then and dealing with the BZ. So this time you're able to break in. I mean, just think about rotating now if you're phase. I mean, you already got the early half of that time. Maybe just set up now for the P4. Make sure you can answer back. Yes, you're going to get this to about a tie game if you are Surge, but I think when that break comes in, you just got to rotate.
Yeah, this is what it comes down to, right? You saw Sim maybe just trying to get aggressive, find a couple of extra kills there towards the scrap time, spawn them deeper away from this pinch. Of course, hoping to get good timing. We'll still see how this is going to work out because there's 2 players here, but it's going to be phase set up now. Can Surge break it this time?
They need a break. They need a break. Can they do it? Neptune, the multi-kill demon, able to get 1 and maybe looking for another. Neptune does get another, but teammate falls, looking for 3. Neptune almost cut them all down, but it's Cell's multi-kill that will answer back. Still warfare around the point, but Cell goes nuts as he gets 4, now on 5 straight. But you kind of equalize on the Neptune play. That's absurd by Nasty, by the way.
Yeah, insane shots from him, and you would love to get that Hellstorm, because I believe Nasty has one on the other side. When we get to that next P1, and you're going to need it, but you're trying to find these final 20 seconds of 820 to put you within striking distance. You can play for this because you have that streak on the side of Surge. They're going to go for all of this scrap time.
Faye's going to hit it one more time, though. Have a 1-on-2 near it. Okay, Abu's going to be last up, so you'll take the remaining time. Last time, Surge just dominant here at P1. Looking to take over again. We'll see if the streak is going to come in, but Abizi's going to win that opening fight. Tries to peek it, but a 4 snap and able to take out 2. Honestly, it's just kind of a trade back and forth. No one with big numbers, but that back-to-back on Nasty and Neptune, likely what gets you the advantage at P1. And if this P1 and P2 go anything like they do the last time through, Surge are winning this match.
No, they are, but you get the call out. How does he win that? Abizi, the hip fire from the zip. Cell's gonna knife him on the other side. That's gonna be a 4 dead. FaZe could not find this, but Nasty, you have the bailout in the Hellstorm.
There goes the Hellstorm. You pick up Celium off the spawn as well. Streak takes him out of it. Sip is going to drop. Abizi falls as well. Now you race back out to the point. You still have right side spawns. If you're Atlanta FaZe and you try to set up for this P2, but 10 seconds remaining here, and every second so crucial for either side with how close this one is. Even through the sun, Sip able to win the fight. Abizi there to help him out as he gets 2 through top mid. Trying to dish out haircuts is Nasty, but now with the P2 up, you're in position if you're FaZe. All the pressure to Surge now. You have got to break in. Only 20 needed for the win.
Yeah, matching with the ARs again is Sim. 20 seconds. 04 though, and Neptune. Both gonna find kills. Pressure over to Draza and Celium to lock this down. And well, they find it. They find 3 in the feed. Celium 27-19. Abizi leading the squad. They're finding all the kills.
FaZe have not been able to win a hard point in this matchup, but they're so close to doing it now. Map 1 to FaZe. And this grand final looks a whole hell of a lot different. all you'd won over these past 3 matchups was the map 1 vaults in the first 2 series online. You ban that, we see some changes. Last time you played them on Protocol, you lose by around 100. It was like a 250 to 150 type game. But here, you come out firing. You know, we talked about some of the slow starts this weekend for them in Hardpoint, but then before that loss, they were 10-0 in your map 1s, which doesn't really speak to slow starts, because you're still getting the map victories. And I think it was such a good job by Surge. Like, you dealt with, you're kind of getting bodied, right? It's a good stretch through 3 and 4 the first time through for Atlanta.
Yeah, that P1 and P2.
You're in such a good spot, but what an answer it was at P1 and P2. Like, I thought you just neutralized everything FaZe had done. But they turn it on late. P1 and P2 looks so different. aBeZy having himself a map at 31 and 20. Cell, still in MVP form as well, putting up damage, leading the way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like aBeZy, you know, he's gotten flack for some Sundays, especially in respawn.
You talk about over the last like 5 years?
Yeah, you know, Sunday he'll have all these insane stats, and then just sometimes his hardpoint drops big time. If he's going to be the one leading the way from them, I just don't know how Surge get back into this, because we just saw what the desk talked about, 95% conversion W rate in S&D, and well, that's going to be behind aBeZy.
Yeah, no, a lot of pressure on him. He is the best to ever do it from an entry position. The guy is absolutely insane. But what a start it was for Atlanta FaZe. You go up big, you go up early, you're nearing 100-point advantage, and then this P1, P2, like the second we go into the listen-in, I swear that happens so often.
All
like,
the time.
Let's go into listen-in with the team winning and vibing, and then they just get smacked.
And you can test a little bit of that time there at P2. You had a great setup at P3, but Surge fighting back. Majority of this P4 time, though, goes the way of FaZe to set them up for the end of the game. Well, and they just found that 4 dead. That forced out the streak from Nasty to have to use it. A much better P1 to end it out.
Yeah, P1 and P2 to close it. There was a story to be said there in the early hard points, but you shut it down. You don't allow another run to come in from the Surge side of it. This is how the game flow broke down. But yeah, you get up 80, probably your biggest advantage there. But then we get all the way back to nearly a tie game, but the last couple of hard points, FaZe are able to ice up. And as Raz said, mostly referring to the search and destroy, like just too icy, this time icy in the hard point. And they were getting busy with the melee, several knife kills over the course of it.
Yeah, we always know the zip lines. That is just the easiest way to defend them. I don't know how I mean, he just must have hit some headshots in there. Nasty's thinking he's got a freebie.
I also was confused at first because at the same time it had like Cell knifing in the feed. Now it was like, did he knife him? He killed him so fast. But nope, that was not. That was aBeZy. I was able to hit the hip fire and get it done. So now another change in this series is going to be the Skyline Search and Destroy. I mean, it's an interesting map when you think about the grand final. For the most part, we've had bangers on this particular map. We usually go 10 or 11 rounds regardless of who's in it.
Yeah, if you look at Winners Final, Red Charm and Protocol were both there. It's just best of 7 adds a search. So where do FaZe want to go with that? Well, they're going to go to Skyline. This is where they won Major 1 on.
Yep.
They don't play it a ton, but it's their trick up their sleeve.
They're looking for 3 Major 2 wins in a row, 3 tournament wins in a row, going back to EWC at the end of 2024. And they're so close. This is a team, I don't want to say on the cusp of greatness. They've already had greatness, but just trying to further cement that resume. You talk about the SNDK leaders. It was a big map 1 for aBeZy, but in Search and Destroy, brother, he has been so strong. And this is just among the grand finalists, obviously, but a 1.57 and just the impact he has early on in rounds, you can't understate it.
No, I mean, I imagine that 63% is opening dual win percentage, right? That graphic missed those stats, but yeah, I mean, if he's having that, getting those first bloods, and we talked about their conversion rate, but on a map like Skyline, this is one for Surge where they played Thieves on it a couple of times. They were trying to find some more reps. They lose that miner on this map. Did they fix some things up? It's not something they play a ton of, but we have seen them getting better and better on it.
This is your last 5 Search and Destroys. It wasn't a great qualifier in S&D for FaZe, but that was what they continually talked about, continually worked on, and it seems to be paying dividends now. Come major time, maybe come championship time, but it's a grand final Sunday, and it's map 2 Search and Destroy. Maybe another Skyline banger in the works. Celium with the first blood. aBuZa is gone, trying to bring it back though. Is Surge, maybe a chance to do it. aBeZy can't finish the kill, so you're gonna get this into a 2 versus 2, make it a 2-on-1. aBeZy dancing, last guy up is Neptune.
Gotta be careful of that guy.
Yep, don't give him 2 1-on-1s, don't give him any crazy opportunities. But he found an AR now to work with the sub, trying to isolate a fight. Oh, he kept shooting there. He might get one.
I think he does have it.
Yeah, he peeked a little bit too wide there if you're a BZ. Simtex maybe going to make it interesting. He's able to avoid that around the wall, and also the tags come in from Cell. They know he's weak. They hunt him down. They don't allow him to make a play. I think Abizi's wide peek maybe could have got caught there.
Yeah, he's ready for the next gunfight, right? Switching weapons, hoping to find Draza with the AR. But you see how difficult he makes life, does Neptune. Just so talented, so skilled, great movement. But the teamwork is there. That first blood from Celium opens it up. They were ready for that A hit.
We had some wild searches. When you go back to the winners bracket final between these two teams, we continuously go 10-11 rounds regardless of the map they match up on. We had, like 3 one-on-ones out of the first 4 rounds when we were on Proto. Expect a lot of craziness here at the tail end of these rounds. Both teams can be so effective at trading, but it is early pressure right across Catwalk. They're able to
still
catch
alive?
one. No, I have no idea how Neptune gets out with 20 HP, but he is still up. Nasty also trying to play his life because you've got an SMG up on your face. You're trying to back up with an AR. Sip just kind of waiting to bide his time and chow.
Cell is through. Watch that number 4. If Sim can play his life, but he's going to get hunted. And well, Neptune's like, hello there.
Give him that freebie. All on to draws. This aggression turns into nothing for Atlanta FaZe. Great round for Surge. Neptune getting it done early and late.
Well, he just stays alive, right? I mean, you have that Catwalk push that he's stunned, he's naded, he's weak. No one, though, over Chalice. Maybe they expect a second player from Surge side to help him out. He's able to earn that first blood, plays his life. They have the numbers, and yeah, none of the flanks going to work for the FaZe side.
We'll see as they continue to try and mix up the hits. How Surge will deal with it. Surge can also be so creative in search and destroy. And well, I've had the better of this matchup really until that winners bracket final. FaZe back on offense now.
Go right back to it.
Yeah, right back. Let's just headbutt each other. Numbers early, gonna go the way of FaZe. Numbers late, looking to go the way of FaZe. Nasty, last guy up. And you're just instantly into a 1 versus 3. Last time a 1 versus 2. They're gonna have to deal with this A-side presence a little bit differently.
Yeah, and maybe that's sort of the play call, right? Like last time we hit A, we lost the round. Maybe they won't expect it this time through. But FaZe always ready for it. The AR is on point to open up the round. But yeah, Surge probably not going to do that for a couple more defensive rounds.
Yeah, probably not. And we'll see now FaZe to get back to defense, what they opt to do. Same type of progression, maybe slow it down, spread it out. But I mean, that's just Skyline. I mean, sometimes rounds are done in the opening 5 to 10 seconds. Pressure to Surge to now deal with that. But Abizi and the squad chat through things as they take advantage again in this. Riding high off of a hardpoint victory, which we weren't sure if they were going to get one. Sometimes FaZe hardpoint disappears on Sunday, but when it matters most, they get that first win. Sim, kind of slow start for him, but you got a couple gooses maybe on the other side of it. Abizi, First Blood Reaper, he'll get one here. Neptune, though, trying to be the playmaker.
Already here, though. I mean, they're so fast on this rotation. Is FaZe. And while Abizi's ready for it, second in the round. Gets that first blood, and they're thinking they can go Catwalk to B. Let's wrap back together. Teamwork on point from FaZe.
Maybe it's one of those BZ legacy maps. Still early, though. But taking over. Abuza and Nasty now trying to clutch up. They're going to try and do it behind the bomb plant. Can they get this down and they'll stay up? Now, they just want to send it, and they will send it efficiently. BZ gets 2 in the round, then kind of the bait in the closing of the round. But they catch them as soon as they're going to get the plan in, or at the tail end of getting the plan in. They swarm it, they close it.
Yeah, it just opens up with that first blood. They rotate back. They catch Neptune trying to make a solo play. So it's just these early rounds, I think you try to have to slow the map down if you are Surge. Can be difficult to do on defense, obviously, because they can just plan A, but just these early picks.
Yeah, it's difficult to do on Skyline sometimes.
True.
But they have to try to slow it down. It just seems like he's getting away from them pretty quickly. But we have seen some crazy swings on a map like Skyline. Okay, so a little bit different. They're just going to sandwich the A bomb site. They're going to kind of do what FaZe did last time, or 2 times ago. They sent it kind of straight across Catwalk. Worried about the underground approach will be Abizi. Dealing with this presence is going to be Simp. He's got 2 to push him. Going to hit a nice stun.
Well, that stun is money.
Yeah, that's going to connect on everybody. There's going to be 3 here, though. He's going to go ahead and shallow. He gets the info. Back in sell up, so they don't go 2 for 2. They're able to get numbers there. That nade hits a second earlier before he gets back to full health. That may be the kill, but he gets back to full. He's able to stay up. Taking a route on one side is going to be number 5 and 04. Maybe looking for an opening.
Kind of feels like they know he's there.
Oh, well, maybe not. Now they do. Now they do. Andros is able to stay alive. Oh, God.
Okay. Well, you thought it was going to be awful, but he doesn't plant the bomb. He just keeps running on through. You thought Abuza was going to catch him easy. That doesn't happen, so 04 left in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, no, that timing looked insane. Can he clutch up? Graza gets the info. Teammate rotates over. They close it out. FaZe continue to take this round by round, up 4-1. And it feels like now a switch needs to be hit.
Just reading the map so well, right? I mean, FaZe just kind of know, hey, this could be a cat hit. The stun on point. Somebody from Surge, I think, throws a nade back from that dead nade, but doesn't matter. They lose the numbers, 3 versus 4, and again, just how efficient FaZe have been behind First Blood, and they're leading this 4-1 in that First Blood category, score 4-1.
Yeah, and I think everybody's got one too, right? Like, literally each member of the FaZe lineup currently has a First Blood, so not just a BC show in that regard. Everybody finding their openings. Cell leading the way at 6-2 though on 4 straight. We'll get the quick plan in for Surge. Now, kind of your first 4-on-4 retake opportunity we'll see for Atlanta FaZe, and well, your chance to kind of hold with even numbers if you're Surge, and finally, a big First Blood. They needed that. Can you win the round off of it? Squaring up deep is going to be nasty. Simp, though, able to win one from Piano. Into a 3v3.
Oh, no.
Nasty can't get away. Things falling apart. FaZe looking to pull up the 3v4, and suddenly it's just going to be Neptune by his lonesome. 20 seconds to go. Can he clutch up? Get some damage in? Can't quite finish off the kill. I thought he had the hit markers, but he is in between a rock in a hard place, and that is maybe the dagger planted firmly in the back of Surge as FaZe pull off the 3v4. And you looked pretty flustered with a couple of the
I think
deaths
we've seen that a couple of times, right? Throughout this weekend is just an SMG solo challenging a player Piano with an AR. This time 04, you know, you're able to get gym control. It's just you overpeak, you take the gunfight, you have the First Blood, bomb is down. And you know he's a guy who wants to make a play, of course, but it feels like maybe just oversteps, and then you just see the dominoes fall as soon as he dies.
That's going to be a frustrating one. You are already in a big hole. 5-1 lead now for FaZe. Chance to close this one out quickly and efficiently. 6 straight kills up on the board for Cell. Died twice, then has been invincible. Taking their time, worried about early pressure, taking a bath. Car out and play as well.
Yeah, he's at a Hellstorm. I imagine that's what they're waiting on. Maybe to deal with 04 and then use the Hellstorm. They want to control Underground, but they're just sort of waiting out this car for now.
You see the car's position tucked away, and like you said, the streak you've got to work with. That, oh, sweet God, that timing was almost horrible, but no one gets any damage in. Car still out on the map. 35 seconds left to go. Neptune finding their opening. Cell just wants to go. Okay, Cell is feeling it right now. Gets one tag into his shin and just sends it. 9-2, 7 straight.
Well, I imagine she's thinking, like, should someone watch my Underground so I can call in this missile? But maybe they don't even use it behind that First Blood. 30 seconds, though. A very odd round with all the cars on the map. aBeZy, though, gonna get there for the trade. Cell 8 to Cell 9. He calls game.
Holy hell from Cell. That was disgusting. What a map from Cell. And what a series so far from Atlanta FaZe. Doesn't seem like we've been into this one long, but it's already a 2-0 advantage. Remember the final of best of 7, so they've got to take 4, but like, they have, I don't want to say dominate because the map 1 ends up being closer, but like the fact that you have been able to win a hardpoint, you win a hardpoint, it feels significant enough that combine it with that map 2 dominance and FaZe completely and utterly in control.
Yeah, and you just get to Surge's one. I mean, we talk about map pool. This is one of their weaker maps, right? FaZe don't play a lot of Skyline, but on the other side of Surge, it's with this roster, it hasn't been fantastic. It's really the Surge's on the back half if they can get there where there's more strength for Surge.
Well, that's usually, listen, we've talked a lot over the years, like, it's weird going from kind of having 2 best of 5s to having what's it been? We've had best of 7, best of 9 where you get one map. You went through winners. Now best of 7 with no advantage. Your only real advantage is kind of the veto process of what maps you get. And usually when I talk to coaches, like, you get an advantage early in the series. That is where you get an advantage. You get some of your maps. Usually the longer it goes, it doesn't bode as well for you. But I mean, it doesn't always play out that way. But that's really where your advantage should come, is early in the series. And well, FaZe have been capitalizing.
Yeah, you saw all the first bloods towards FaZe, and then Cell 11-2. Finishes off with 9 in a row. Guy having a great couple of maps.
Yeah, no, we were kind of chatting like who's going to be, MVP if FaZe were to win this, who would be the Surge MVP. And when we were talking FaZe, like, I mean, if you look through the first couple of days, Simp and Draws were unbelievable. I think that was kind of the safe bet. And I was kind of thinking because of how Cell has done in this particular matchup, maybe take Simp or Cell, depending who has the better final. Right now, it's feeling like Cell if he continues like this.
Yeah, I mean, he has been the one consistent factor versus Surge.
Yeah, against their tough competition, right? He's been unbelievable. First 2 maps down, maybe a lot more to come, maybe not. But before we get to map 3, Des, what are your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Merc and Maven and production team. Go ahead and start putting together the MVP award for Cellium. The package should be rolling out in about 2 maps if he keeps this up. 2 games in, Atlanta wins them both. And Nameless, you said through the first 3 maps, you need to see Atlanta with at least a 2-1 record.
Yeah.
They living up to their potential?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Chris. And when you looked at it, it's just like the Protocol Hardpoint, a map that they have loved, 8-2 on it. Like, you have to get your Hardpoint victory there. And then the Skyline, a weaker map for Surge. I thought with how aggressive Atlanta play on their offensive pushes, they would have an advantage, and they did early on. You saw Surge kept challenging them there. You cannot challenge them at low A.
Let's take a look at this because Vancouver scores 1 round in the first 2. After that, it is all FaZe. And I don't even think Cellium died in the last 4 rounds.
The crazy thing is, I'm going back to the stat that we did before the match even started. About 95%, once they found that first blood, they found 5. They won all of those rounds, and then the 6th round was in a 3v4 clutch, man-down situation. This is what's scary to me now, though, because I was riding the underdog story because Vancouver's hardpoint has been unbelievable. But Atlanta already take that map number 1. We knew that they were going to guarantee the S&D in that map number 2. And now in that next map on Protocol, you've already beat them on it. So Vancouver, you're potentially going to start down 0-3, and Atlanta FaZe are going to be unbelievable.
They've been splitting those protocols, right? Like, it's been back and forth, back and forth. They've played each other so many times recently. So you cannot count Surge out. Just the start of the series is tough for them.
Allie, do you think they will be mentally bombed, though? It's their first grand final. You're playing a team that has been here so many times in their career, and you're down 2-0.
I almost want to say no. The only reason I kind of take that angle is because they have the coach in Rambo Ray, and Rambo Ray has been in this situation beforehand, and has definitely talked them through this of like, you have to be realistic about your map pool, right? And Surge just doesn't have the same map pool Atlanta FaZe has. Ant touched on it at the beginning that like, you're not going to have a good time at the start of this series, but you just need to keep your head in to try to make it to that game 4 and game 5. So for Surge, I'm hoping their mentals are good.
And let's go over to drawing conclusions. We've got another respawn loading up, but what did we learn in our first hard point?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, MC is playing perfect Call of Duty. This is the end of the game where he just kind of holds the back, makes sure nobody spawns out behind them. And what do we preach to our young bulls all the time, Jay? Layering. It's like when you get a 4 down, you have to make the other team feel it. You have to take space. So in this situation, number 3 is Simp. He pulls out an AR for this P1 to P2, right? So you know when he's in this position, he can see all of mid. They end up killing this guy, and then you see a BZ. He's going to jump down and go underground. So you can see underground, obviously, the push through here, and he has all of field. He can kind of go back and forth. Draws is going to go over towards Time, and then MC, he's the important player here. He's going to sit back lights, and he's going to peek back to make sure nobody spawns behind, and then he's also has 2 players all the way out. The only reason they can do that is because MC is playing safe. When it comes down to it, win Simp, win a BZ die, and they end up trying to push over towards Time if you're Surge, you still have MC playing in the building, finding the final 2 kills. This is a perfect display of layering, exactly how you want to punish the other team when you get a 4 dead.
And this is a good example as well of just like Atlanta FaZe kind of going back to their fundamentals. Like obviously it helps when a BZ's 29 and 19, but there is not many situations you see Vancouver Surge on the back foot of rotation when it comes to a map. And once you fall behind, it is very difficult when you're going up against a team like Atlanta FaZe in a grand final to crawl that back in.
It took 3 fights for Surge to even get to that hill.
Yeah.
BZ goes positive 11. Cellium continues his dominance, soaking up the hill time as well. But my big numbers that I'm looking at throughout the first 2 maps, Jay, the difference between Cellium and Abuza in damage, it was 1,100 in that search and destroy for Cellium, Abuza 360. He's got to keep pace if they want to win.
Oh yeah, without question. Everybody from Vancouver has to step it up a little bit. You're in a championship grand final. You're going up against a team that usually finds himself in a majority of the grand finals. They are prepared for this moment. You have to step up to a whole new level if you want to try to fight back.
Game is ready. Let's send it back to the casters for our control.
Thank you, guys. Great breakdown there. And yeah, let's get to a control. Is a proto that certainly has had some back and forth affairs, but you think about most recently played in the winners bracket final is a 3-1 to FaZe where they kind of handle business. And listen, you and I, whenever we're casting a series, whenever we're casting a final, we're like, all right, man, we're strapping in. We want to have a banger, right? You want to have a game 7, a game 5, whatever it is. Like, I think after the map 1, you just looked at me and said, uh-oh. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh.
It's just, it shifted things so much because the hard point is really where Surge have taken it to them. Now, don't get me wrong, they are a talented team. They have the ability to battle back, but yes, the pressure is different. You said like you shouldn't be feeling a lot of pressure if you're Surge, but there isn't a lot of main stage experience. You're in a hole like this, you feel it slipping away. Maybe not pressure, but like you just don't have a lot of experience in these situations.
Well, I think now there's probably pressure. Like, if they want to win this, like there's probably pressure on this map. I feel like you're not go down 3-0. You can see control throughout the weekend. Solid for both squads, but again, FaZe already beat them on this map 3-1 in some impressive rounds as well. And while this guy loves himself some protocol control.
Yeah, he's having one of those series, maybe one of those events. Cell is incredible, and he's looking to close this out as quickly as he can. But again, best of 7, nothing going to be done here, but Surge desperately need a win. Simp going to be AR out early on this opening break. Cell going to get picked immediately. As soon as Neptune finds that opener, it's going to shift basically the entire setup of this FaZe team. And this is exactly what you want early if you're Surge.
Yeah, this is what they were doing in the winners bracket final very well. They were finding timings to catch Cellium off guard, right? Pinching those. It's not like FaZe could get into a lot of their setups. Like, there was a ton of pressure that FaZe had to fight through. It's just when they did, they made them pay.
Cell's been like the only one to win a few gunfights, well, only one to win a gunfight to make sure they're not pinned in. This could have been a whole lot scarier, but still, you've got a minute or so off of this. You haven't found any openings. aBeZy's going to make one pay, but trade it out. So when can you actually pause the clock? You haven't been able to really touch an objective outside of Simp for a moment, but now Simp getting in a position where he likes to dance. He's got Cell to work with. The map's kind of flipped on itself a little bit. You've got 2 on one side for Surge, you got 2 on the other. And then with the one player coming off a spawn into aBeZy, it's going to be easy what he can deal with. But so far, looking good for Surge.
Yeah, again, this is sort of the problem. They just don't have ammo control. They don't have their base control. Both times they've gotten towards the A point.
Oh, that is tough.
You've had multiple members there. This time it's going to be aBuZa and Neptune. 20 seconds left. You don't have a tick, and it's due to that base pressure.
Really from the get-go. As soon as Neptune got up Zip, took out Cell, they have never looked back. That the 50-yard line has just been nothing but control for Surge. Nasty continues to beam. Time, trucked it away. Through on a flank is going to be a 4. Nasty still holding up the gunny, and you may have put a foot. I think the only time is when Simp crossed over mid and then died in front of their house. He touched the objective for like a second. That is it.
And when you had someone finally make a play and sell them, get them out of their base, you know, you look back at that winners bracket final when they rematched, or sorry, when they played earlier. That is when FaZe made them pay. But this time, they regained map control. Again, you got players in the FaZe base. A very clean round. Well, as good as you're going to get from the side of Surge. And while Nasty 8-2. Again, the 2 times they played online, he was a monster.
Yeah, they had, I mean, their best, I think, defensive round, when you look back to the last protocol, was, I think they held up like 3. I think I just saw a timeout requested maybe on the screen, so we might have a moment here. We'll see what the deal is. I'm not sure. Waiting to hear. The players chatted through. It could be, I don't know, controller issue, monitor issue, who knows. But as soon as we find out, we'll let you know. But what a great defense there from Surge. Last to the winners bracket protocol, though. Like, what, FaZe kind of answered a really good defense with, I think they gave up 1 tick. It was dominant from them. So you're looking to answer back with that same level of efficiency if you can. It's a great streak from Nasty towards the tail end of that round. You go on 6 straight. You're feeling so good. But not sure where the issue's at yet. It is a controller issue, I've been told. So we'll see if one's going to be swapped out or what the deal is. Hopefully get back to it as quick as we can, but thank God we have a timeout feature.
Yeah, this is the start of a control round.
It's true. It's true. Before it actually gets going. But we'll slow our rolls for a second here as we start to get into the map. Maybe a chance for both teams to kind of take a breath, especially maybe it's kind of hurts, I think, for Surge. You know, you're down 0-2. You have a really good defensive round. You maybe want to ride that momentum. You get a little break here. Maybe allows FaZe to regain after that. But at the same time, it's also up 2-0 for FaZe. So you're probably feeling okay.
No, I think a great round one, though, from Surge. That's
No,
how
it's
you
incredible.
have to respond, especially
Yeah.
on defense. Because how many times do we see a round one offense win on protocol, and it just sort of lights out?
Yeah,
Game
yeah.
is over, so you needed that response early.
We're going to take a look real quick while we wait for the guys to get going here and the controller issue to be resolved. We're going to check out some of the highlights from the protocol in the winners bracket final because, again, they faced off on this a couple of times. They just did face off on it. It was a 3-1 victory. In case maybe you missed that winners bracket final, how it played out. You had to get it done through a 2-3-5 if you are FaZe. Why we were so high on the hard points for this Surge team, because you won the 2 there. You've also won everything outside of a pair of vaults really over the course of these 3 matchups that they've had. But now you come in and strike first if you're FaZe, you take that search and destroy, you're in a really incredible control, but that's exactly what you need if you're Surge set, exactly what you need. One dominant round, one thing to get it going, maybe get the nerves out if there are some. It's like they've been playing on main stage all weekend. You've been playing on a Sunday, but I'm sure a final feels a little bit different, especially when you're players that have never won before. You've never won that first. Do you remember how you felt like the first time the first one was in reach? That was like 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
What year was the first?
2010.
Yeah, that's 15 years ago. Holy hell!
All right.
So no, you don't probably remember. I'm not. Listen, when I have some chances to joke about age, I'm going to, Joe, because they're becoming far in between where I have
Well,
the
as soon
opportunity.
as you throw them at me, I mean, they're just coming back to you.
Yeah, true. Oh God, I was probably casting that. No, not quite yet. But whatever the controller issue is, I swear, players should have a backup and get this thing swapped out. Although that's got to be frustrating. Okay, I've just heard they're getting back into it, so I think we're gonna be okay to go in a second here.
Yeah, we're good to go.
We are? Okay, all right. Yeah, good to go. Back to the grand final. Controller issue resolved. Whatever the hell was going on, we're back into it. Surge, dominant in the round one, trying to string that into now their offense on Sims POV, at least for the underground route, to see what he can find. Timing, though, is going to be great or going to be horrible. He's at least able to get one before he falls, but he had multiple working their way in through lower up. And what you do not see Draza there, just tucked away like a little plant pot.
I was going to say, that spot was insane. Big kill there by Neptune. aBeZy trying to get on forward, find some spawn kills. Cellium, close. It was close. Neptune almost re-snapped there, but Cell so good short range with the AR. Ooh, those players were weak.
Yeah, he's taking out an ankle there as the Tiny Terrors go down by 04. Nasty still on that streak. Nice shots there from 04, just on his back. Chilling. But you already have more progress than FaZe were able to get. There's the first tick in. Feeling good about that and done it efficiently so far with a little bit of a life advantage.
And again, you just got nobody forward, right? Where round one for Surge, they constantly had people in the base of FaZe. 8 in a row, looking for 9, and the Hellstorm, there it is. A point about to be complete, minute added on. Well, it needs one more bullet. The pistol not gonna cut it. aBeZy's gonna reach out, actually catches the timing to find one.
I mean, Nasty was the big story of the first 2 matchups for these guys when Surge won them. I mean, he's like plus 25 in both of their series. Was an absolute demon in that matchup, trying to get back into that form, doing a good job early in this one. You have the minute extension, you have a 90 seconds to work with towards B. FaZe hanging on for dear life, or they may be stunning up a teammate there. It's Nasty, but everything else is clicking. No opening so far, though, toward B. We'll see what Booze's luck's going to be like.
You see what FaZe are doing. They're just trying to make sure nobody is pinching through the flank. I assume they think they're missing somebody. Hard focus on that side of the map, but I mean, I guess they have to, right? Nobody is on the objective until now. That's gonna be Nasty stepping on forward, but just trying to control the middle of the map is FaZe. It's behind the AR. Cellium and Draza get it done.
Beautiful win there from up forward. Unfortunately, you lost the rest of your teammates. You're tagged up, and that sends everybody back to spawn. And now with 50 seconds remaining, you're pinned in. This is what we saw a lot of in that winner's bracket final. Once FaZe got to this position, so much of the clock going to get milked. The life differential would just be destructive by the time it was done. Still sitting around 5. Nasty trying to get out with the route. Well, nearly going to chest bump one. Self, though, able to hit the backslide out and take that. What's going to be left? What opportunity time-wise is going to be here by the time you finally get out of this? One way to get out is to work it underground. Well, dropping down. His teammate got it. Under 20 seconds to go. Cell's streak now comes to an end. 04, oh my God, he had the read. And now, unfortunately, your risk of both of you ending up dropping, but you have no respawns remaining, only 4 lives to go. The defense not quite as good for FaZe, but looks like it's good enough to secure a round win.
Yeah, I mean, after losing A and being down in lives, it's what you needed to do. They made sure nobody was able to pinch on through. Draza going to be very close to a streak.
Yeah.
Maybe to match that Hellstorm on the side of Nasty. But yeah, you have to take advantage if you're Surge. Just have to carry that forward.
Yeah, well, 3-1. Oh, sorry, 3-0, right? 3-0 in this department. FaZe have got to get something better on offense. It's just, I mean, I know you get kind of picked early, your whole setup gets destroyed when Neptune gets in, but like you just never really recover. And it's not like you were getting spawn killed. It's not like, I don't know, the two subs were running around in your base, running rampant and picking you apart. You just were constantly staggered and never got a real good look at the objective.
Yeah, I feel like Celium's the best at sort of locking down that staircase, locking down Zip, or one of the best. But Surge have had his number at times. We'll see if he can continue to do that. If Surge can continue to do that, or will Celium get comfortable?
Well, Cell opens it this time around. They read the timing. They're able to deal with one that's pushed
gets
through.
another one.
Cell gets the one that pushes through. Drawza wins that, and that's going to be some big progress early on. You deal with Nasty, but maybe he bought enough time, at least for teammates, to battle back into position. Maybe get rid of the trophy first. As you're trying to get rid of the trophy, though, you're going to get shut down. So annoying there, I'm sure, for aBeZy, but still a foothold early for FaZe. Number 6 in Abuza. See what he's going to be able to do. Simp just gets fried around the edge, and there's a great recovery in sequence from Surge.
Well, I was about to say FaZe. All right, they're picking up on the flays often now. They're making sure nobody is making the plays, but it's the players in the front line that are just getting smoked. aBeZy and Sympto trying to respond, or at least pause the clock. 5 HP for aBeZy, but it doesn't matter. He's able to play his life for now.
But every time they get onto A, every time there is somebody that's gotten through. This time it's Neptune they're still looking for. They're able to find Neptune. Now maybe you find some progress. Tags in from Draws over the top. He's going to go ahead and push it forward, leave it for aBeZy to get in. Maybe switch positions here. Maybe you'd like to have that flipped around, but at least Draws has got a sub in Hound. Draws is still able to find the kill. Second tick is done. Draws gets shut down, but you're looking for the minute extension, and that should be here in a moment. Cell trying to make sure it gets through.
Yeah, just the crossfire from Cell. Again, they found Nasty on the pinch through top middle. Well, A going to be done. So now 4 life advantage, a minute 40 here for FaZe.
Yeah, I mean, when they're doing a good job of dealing with the pinch, with the flank routes, they win a lot of offenses. And they continue to do it. aBeZy put into a tough position. Not going to hit really many bullets there once he swaps over to the AR.
Yeah, centering just a bit off
Yeah,
to
like
the
a hair
left.
to the left. And now, you lose that fight. Suddenly Abuza's on 5 straight, and suddenly you're back to spawn. You still have, I mean, a minute or so to work with, but how much time goes off? I got no idea. Simp's just bait there, like this is jetpacks.
Yeah, I mean, Cell is like, I'm telling you, I mean, I was nasty at jetpacks, but it doesn't matter. 0-4. He's up to 4 in a row.
They got to shut this guy down. And while they need to get quick kills and get out of spawn, the only person down the other side of the map is going to be Simp. So you're relying on Simp to make some kind of disruption, to make some openings for your teammates to get out. aBeZy can't get across. Drawza still finding it difficult in spawn. Neptune trying to tuck away and make sure Simp doesn't catch him. aBeZy's in hell right now. I think he's barely made it spawn for 3 or 4 lives in a row. Still 30 seconds to go. Abuza, incredible shots, but he's still in between 2 players. Now you're able to pause the clock. You've got the help there. That's going to be 3 dead. That's going to call off the streak. So I guess good thing is, FaZe, you force this out. Good thing for Surge, you have this to actually utilize.
Cell shot it again. Cell shot it.
Did he actually?
Yeah, Cell shoots it. So you have 3 players on this. It connects with nobody. They are flying. Surge has to get here. 3 players on it. Celium gets 2. Celium gets the 3rd. And the Hellstorm. Are you kidding me?
That is just disgusting stuff. I'm like, why is nobody moving off the point? Like, they understand they're about to get smoked, right?
Nope.
Cell is shooting missiles, shooting bodies, shooting players, shooting his shot. This guy, Cell, is a freak of nature. 20 and 10 right now, and FaZe right back in control of this map in the series.
Yeah, there's just sort of like this 30-second pause where both teams are fighting for map control, but the players from FaZe who were able to get out, like Simp, on the Surge side, they just waited. They just took their time, a lot of discipline. All right, where is Surge going to set up? They found those picks, and then, 3-4 dead? You force that missile out, but it doesn't matter for Celium.
Well, now you got to get an offensive round win here. If you're Surge, you're in an 0-3 hole in this final. And you know what? For this team, we're not done yet, but this is one step, right? You proved you're a contender. You've made it to a final, but you'd like to put up more of a fight, right? Not go out with a whimper. and then win this offense, can Neptune make some insane plays for this squad. Nearly done with A. Should finish this here. It looks like you're setting up D for the most part. Oh God, so you're gonna get the point and three. You should be able to transition this big time. The one guy that can get something done is gonna be Simp again. He was the one guy on offense, now maybe the one guy on defense that can make a route and disrupt this, but he's checking everywhere. He is able to get one in a booze on the backside. Now on his teammates to do it from the other end of it, and they're able to shut it down. So they'll get all four. And now you'll fan back out, but that's a good chunk. I mean, you get one tick, you get the first point done.
Yeah, no, Ford, that's some rough timing there, right? He shoots the doors open.
Ooh,
And I think that player was just able to jump across and get that first kill there for FaZe. But now opening up the map again is 0-4. Some great shots through Spiral. Trying to work this objective is already through.
For Surge, you have 2 minutes to work with. You have a ton of time. You're finding lives. You just need to avoid like a 3-4 down where everyone gets forward, and it's happening right now. Like this is exactly what FaZe need, exactly what Surge do not need. It's time getting wasted. SMGs continue to win some big fights, but you're still really not in the best position. Still lurking though. It's going to be Simp at 04 does deal with that. So big gunfight win there. They push out the map again. You're going to have a BZ on the other side though. What disruption does he find?
There's maybe a chance. He is caught. Abuza's got to win this. Got to win this and not going to. So that allows Simp then to go as soon as Abizi's able to win. The second tick though, about to come on through, so not out of the water yet is FaZe.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not, but you can't get pinned in. Last time you dealt with this pretty well, but opportunity to happen maybe again. You deal with the BZ quickly, you deal with Simp quickly. Neptune and company deal with that so well. Another opportunity for FaZe to put this map away. Now onto the point they go with the quickness. Last tick, ripping and roaring. Neptune firing all cylinders. He has been incredible within this round, and there you go. You needed it to get to the round 5, and you're able to do it. And what a job bouncing back from multiple times you're 3-4 dead. You've got Simp and Abizi pinching your base.
Honestly, both teams, right? Because FaZe, they go 3 or 4 dead a couple of times, then they respond with a 3 or 4 dead. It's just this back and forth battle. But because the objective work you did earlier in the round, getting multiple players on the zone, just allowed you, once you had your final chance to get out of your base, they're able to win it.
Well, I think we talk about that resilience so much because on a map like Protocol, how often do we see like
to be over?
Yes. Like it's just they fold. A team folds. They're 3-4 dead and just can never actually bounce back from it. There, you saw both teams showing what they're capable of, kind of never out of a round, always able to make something happen, whether it's offense or defense. Round 5 though, and this is everything for Surge. It feels like you have got to get a map win here. You've got to get a foothold in this series.
See how good they've been in round 5s. 5-2, 4-6 for the other side of FaZe. But yeah, just how good that defense was in round 1 earns you the round 5.
Yeah, usually, I mean, if you give up 0 ticks,
you're good to go.
Yeah, if you go to round 5, you should be in a great spot. Trying to make this progress happen. Raza almost able to finesse that into a second fight, but what a read there, or call out for the teammate to have Abuza snap back and take out Abizi. Because Abizi can be ruthless from that position, but Abuza shuts it down. Simp knows there's one here, able to peek, but Nasty is looking over the top, so insta trade. But you've got another body here in Abizi and sell back to the steps. We're chowing that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you're hoping you have the team shot with Draza.
Yeah, a bit of an overshell, though, you would think, right? Maybe they're worried about the pinch. Someone was going to pick that up off a spawn, but Draza here with an AR. He's like, I got this, don't worry. So trying to get that minute extension, slowing the map down. Simp able to find the one player on the flank. Surge are going to go for this. But instead, it's going to be 3 dead, but this sets up Abuza. Abuza was able to find the timing on the zip line.
And he's just going to go. They really want to stop this. He's just throwing bodies at it. All right, there's the point secured. Lives, I don't know, not too much separation. 2 between them, FaZe advantage, but 2 minutes now to go, and you've got to be so good here defensively. Neptune is still pushed up and kind of lost. There you can see all the arrows trying to hunt him down. Simps POV through X-Ray, he's not gonna be able to help from that side of it.
Well, I think that's big because last time, right, when you did get 4 bodies, the one player who was alive was Simp, and he just sort of waited, disciplined, allowed his teammates to get to him. That's when they were able to win that offense. This time, though, it will be Celium, his turn to try and stay alive, but they're hunting him down. Neptune's starting to win all his ones.
Time still there, but dwindling. A little over a minute to go. Still about even in lives. The route in from 04. He's on 4 straight. We hop POVs quickly on over to Nasty, who's just able to get away and play his life. You've had FaZe just hunting for players for the last minute. which bodes well for your chances, but sometimes it's just a moment. It's one moment and you're out battling. Oh God, I did not think Abuza was winning that
No,
one.
I didn't either. I was like, Draza is a freak, but it doesn't matter. There is a quick trade, so forward pressure is up. Gotta deal with these players, will they? They sure do. Neptune off spawn takes down Abizi. On the other side, it will be 0-4 through Spiral. Just 40 seconds to go.
2 dead. Maybe your best opportunity now to get a body onto the point. This will be 3 dead. Draza going huge
All
late in
4.
this one. All 4 now going to be dead. Coming off the spawn, trying to battle back is Surge.
Big
They've
win.
got to clutch up, but Abizi with a big one. Suddenly from the depths of a round loss, maybe is a victory here. Simp on the other side of it. No respawns remaining. You're just simply running out of lives if you're Vancouver Surge. A centimeter to go. Can somebody battle back onto the point? Trying to get it done. It's going to be down to Draza. Draza's got 2 on him. They're able to hold it, but there's only 1 player left. They shut it down. They close it out. FaZe take a wild round 5 of control in a 3-0 edge in this best of 7. Surge in such a good spot until things just collapse late. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes it's just a moment. 1, 3, 4 dead, and all hell breaks loose. Especially when you're like when you're like a 10-10 in lives. That 1-4 dead could be the difference.
No, I mean, like, just honestly, a couple of moments. Like, yes, to get out of the base is huge, but then they win, like, every individual battle after that, and then they just have this discipline as FaZe. You see it a lot on Hacienda where they just get to their positions, and it's just like, make them panic, right? Make them make the first move. As soon as we get that first kill, that is the domino, in we go. Nobody does it better in control.
And that might be where the biggest edge is in this series. Like you just said, like maybe not a lot of pressure on Vancouver Surge here. You know, kind of the first time with this team to a grand final. But like in those moments, in those icy moments, late in maps, in a hard point, in a search, I mean, you got to think that's where you probably have the advantage of your face. You've just seen this a million times. And Cell is further progressing his MVP shots here. Yeah, 31 non-traded, 34 in 20. Just a bomb out of Cell. His great finals continue.
And he also just does it, I mean, on offense, right? Where it's just not easy a lot of the times as an AR to find those kills. Like, yes, you have top ammo, but I'm telling you, no one does it quite like him on this map.
Cell getting comfortable. Surge in trouble now. I mean, after you lose that opening hard point, we were a little bit worried, but now 0-3 hole, you're gonna have to rip off 4 straight. Listen, we've had some reverse sweeps in best of 7s, best of 5s, one time in a best of 9, but it is not easy to do. All you can do, have Ray, your coach, talk to you map by map. You start to take momentum.
Well, now you're starting into your bread and butters if you are, though, Surge, right?
That's
you're
true.
going to a
That's
Hacienda hardpoint, where they have probably been the best Hacienda hardpoint team in the world the last couple of weeks. You know, after that, you have a red card search and destroy. Like, you're starting to get some more comfort picks, but yeah, it starts here with the hardpoint. This Hacienda, well, obviously it's massive chance. If FaZe wins it, tournament is done.
Yeah. Well, now every map, yes, is certainly the map. Oh.
But yeah, it starts with 1.
You just gotta flip it, man. Like, you just win, like, you get like 2 maps, then suddenly the whole Silver Surfer thing starts breathing down the neck of Atlanta FaZe. But right now, they're just all smiles. They're all, you know, when you talk about teams and like how we talk about, like, I don't know, Optic when they won a major last year, like their first major they won, like it's every clutch moment, every icy moment they were able to come up big in. Just feels like you're getting a little bit out with FaZe this weekend. Like, I know they've lost some hard points, but when it's like these 1v1s, little clutches.
Down 5-4, yeah.
Yes, they've been able to clutch up and get it won. And you just start to believe in yourself. It's like, whatever the situation is, we're going to win that round.
Yeah, do it there a couple of times on offense in control. Yeah, just all those little scenarios where they're trapped. They're like, we'll do this.
Yep, we'll do this. And it's what helps when you've got that core 3 team together for better part of a decade, it feels like. But it has been a long, long time. But we talk about Surge and what they were able to do in map 4s in stage 2. You know, we talked about the stat for map 1s for FaZe, how good it was. For map 4s, it is Surge, 11-1. And now, well, the biggest map 4 really of a lot of these guys' careers. Trying to stay alive in this final. And yeah, you get to one of your beauty picks. You get to a Hacienda. They can be disgusting here. We saw them against Ultra, how good they can be. Just one of those situations where you hope they're not broken. And I don't think they are, but it's just, it cannot be easy on a main stage in an 0-3 hole.
Yeah, you're just climbing a mountain. That's what it is.
A tiny mountain, if you're climbing over the FaZe players. Abizi and Cell, though. map 1 this series. I mean, but Cell, I mean, listen, that's a great stat for having to be easy, but what, you have that map 1.
11-2.
Map 2, you go 11-2. What was it, 35-20 or 34-20, whatever it was in the control. I mean, Cell is having one of those kind of all-time grand finals right now.
Well, he's just like one of the guys again, like even their winter bracket final, he was the only guy positive versus the Surge team. It felt like he was the only one finding multi-kills, just playing his life, doing what he does. It was everyone else that were struggling in those hard points.
Yeah.
And now you're getting everyone else a little bit more involved.
One of those things that makes, kind of your super teams or your all-star lineups like Atlanta FaZe so dangerous is, one guy's not having a good time. We can still step up and get a win. And like Draws has said, and I've repeated multiple times, like when we're not playing Great COD, when we're not all shooting, we want to play a Call of Duty, we want to play a type of game that we're still able to win maps. And they've done that because you've gotten, I think Simps the GOAT. You've got some lackluster maps out of him. They're still winning maps. And that's due to the other superstars you've got in this lineup.
Well, we're going to have a little, look at the difference here. First in rotation for FaZe versus the best breaking team on Hacienda.
And this is also, as much as this is a story for Surge, this is a story for me for FaZe. Like, this was the map you tried so desperately to work into your rotation. You played it 5 times during the qualifier. You never looked great, but you've worked on it big time, and when you've needed it here at the major so far, you've been able to win it. Can you win it now to close it out? It's one of those things I think when you're a player, like, it just shows the work has paid off. Because they've had a couple series be a little bit sketchy because they've tried to work on this in an online qualifier match. For FaZe, though, chance to close it out with a swift 4-0 in a grand final. Surge, maybe the first step in that tiny mountain as they try to climb over the FaZe players. Simpto getting to work early, and he is one of the better Hacienda players in the world. 0-4 is disturbingly agile.
Oh, okay, nice shots by Draza.
If he would have got that too, had me feeling some type of way early. Draza, though, is relying on his own gunning and then the crossfire from his teammates. But these rotations going to be the conversation, like you said. Number 1 in rotating for FaZe. Number 1 in breaking for Seattle Surge. And what they do really well here is how patient the breaks are. Like, right, they set up, they take their time. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, 04's already here. 1 second left. He's actually need to pick. So 3 versus 4 on this break attempt. There jumps the first one, though. So quick through lobby. There's number 1. Ooh. Almost found the second. Well, now they're going to find 3. So all down to Celium.
Yeah, but when it's all down to Celium, Cell sometimes just kills everyone.
Yeah, he sure.
Oh, he stopped shooting. Got a little bit of help there as it got sketchy, but the one guy close, they had a lot of deaths, but they were around the hard point, right? They weren't on the hard point. So Cell really has had to win a one-on-one. Now Simps starting to pick you apart, moving, grooving, finally dropping. Not a big advantage, but a bit of one, and you build that here at the P2. And for FaZe, usually the P2, not the best for them. It's really a rock where they could be lights out, but that's a great P2, despite the fact that you go 3 down.
You're going for this one more time if you are Surge. Fighting the final 15. Is it going to pay off? But BZ needed one more bullet there, so they're going to get some scrap time, but this will allow FaZe to get it set up towards fences. So the number 1 break team going to need a big break. And Draza, he has so much intel going on this route. Great play from him. Second player is tagged. He's got the sub. He's going to clean it up. Now they know exactly where Surge are spawning.
It's just playing into the narrative perfectly. We talk about the rotating team versus the breaking team. Pressure continues to be on FaZe to hold. Pressure continues to be on Surge to break. Draza, though, starting to streak a bit, and the timing on the route looks like it's going to work out perfectly here as he's able to, I thought, get the kill right before his teammate dropped, but never mind. He ends up being a half second late. The trophy out into the point. Draza doing it with whatever weapon. You know what a flex he can be. Draws heating up now on 5 straight. He's triple positive.
Yeah, he's just dodging nades, and while they're learning they know the spawns.
Did you just dodge the nade in real life, too? I swear I saw you just
No, I was like, I thought he was about to get hit by a nade. But, I am agile.
That streak, though, dumb, but still 40-point lead for FaZe. And if they close it out on this hard pot, I'll tell you what, I didn't expect to be taking both, but MacArthur. MacArthur firing right now. 7 straight. He gets another 12-4. Celium, he's a dirty, dirty man.
Yeah, he's going to look for the Hellstorm as well. He's going to get set up on this objective. Well, sometimes we talk about the weakness of Hacienda for FaZe. This is the strength, though. This P4. Nobody does it better than them.
Dealing with it okay so far, but you go 2 for 2. Reinforcement spawns coming in, both sides trying to spin across. Maybe an opening now for Seattle Surge, for Vancouver Surge to do this. Wall bangs though from Cell, trying to get the back of the fight, but your best breaking team here, able to get that break, and they needed it. You're still able to battle back into this quickly though if you are FaZe. Try to recover, contest some of this time, or just take this time.
This is big time.
Big time for aBeZy and co. Now up 50. We get into our second set of rotations, and yeah, I mean, FaZe have had the early rotation. They've held a little bit better than Surge have broken, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just comes out of the slang right now. When you're going to rotate early, a couple players are going to be double positive. I mean, everyone is positive. That pretty much means you're winning, right? Just the break attempts are not working for the side of Surge. The one good thing was this guy in MC didn't get a Hellstorm. But that's about it. Surge are going to need this P2.
So that's your one positive.
It is.
For Surge. That's probably not good. Double positive is Cell. You just feel the wheels starting to come off of this. Surge needs some kind of like rocker-like eruption if they're going to bring this back. But nobody in the point for now. Play clock ticking. Surge trying to get in and take whatever time they can get. They're still spawning out towards P2. Deep towards Garden will be draws popping. So
they're gonna spawn out. They might spawn out here. This is a lot of forward pressure in 15 seconds. And yeah, you see those two players spawn all the way out. They're trying to hunt down 04 before the reinforcements can get there. 5 seconds before this hill pops. They know exactly where the push is. Drazen knows it, reading the map, puts some tags in. Neptune, though, is able to find one. I mean, a crazy chow, but he's got to go for it.
You have the early setup again if you were a FaZe. They'll get somebody into the point. They're fanning on both sides of it. Maybe a really awkward timing there at Rock. We'll see. Draza sort of picks it up for a second, then wraps back. I don't know if anyone's picked it up yet. That's been an opening now for Neptune to push on forward. Nope, they were able to pick that up and deal with it. You had nearly a perfect P2 last time through. Doing it again here. Simp now on 5 in a row at 16 and 9. Yeah, Surge is just getting beaten up and bruised. Their hardpoint magic seems to have run out. Lead now up to 100, and where we have criticized FaZe at times on Sundays for their performances, sometimes their struggles in grand finals. I'm not seeing any struggles right now. This is belt to ass. They are just beating them down on Hacienda.
No, I mean, listen, like, a lot of the times with P2, it's sort of that first break attempt, and they're just dealing with it perfectly if you are the side of FaZe. Like, yes, you're getting some forward pressure from Surge. It's just you're not getting the kills on the objective. Or it's a 2 versus 2 there, and then they're winning those gunfights. Finally, you have a setup early if you are Surge.
Okay, maybe that triple. If this is Rocker, I think maybe that triple. That one play. And suddenly that team is a different beast, but still, maybe that little effort gets them fired up.
Another one?
Yeah, here we go. Triple into triple. Neptune. Dancing in front. Okay, here we go.
They're powering up.
They're powering up. Gets all 4 as Neptune. You were down about 100, but hold up a second now. Starting to rip. It's just, is this too much to overcome? You gotta love what you're seeing, but it was just such a massive hole. But on a map like this, you can string together some hard points, Joe.
Yeah, BC's gonna spawn up.
Here we go.
Just gonna rotate, but yeah, now it's a foot race. You see number 6 aBeZy. He's gonna cut this off, and well, maybe we're gonna have a Rocker-like comeback.
6 straight for Neptune, right back to his 7 for him.
Hellstorm?
Trying to pick up all sides, not able to get the Hellstorm or win the kill, but now let's focus out to Rock. So one of the few times you get an early setup for Surge, they've got a hold, FaZe have got a break. The timing on for aBeZy around the point though, a stun's gonna hit. Multiple players not able to see anything, but FaZe able to come up with the kills. They can hold, they can break, and that might have been Surge's back broken as they get into Rock and they're nearing victory.
I mean, you had the numbers. It was a 2 versus 3, but it's just a couple of multi-kills from Draza and Simp that get that break and now put them closer to 200 points.
Come in swinging again to Surge. The slide's on point. There's another multi-kill that might be the difference. The aBeZy, it's able to do it, so you have the final domino in position. The closer and quicker spawns coming in. Rock, so good for FaZe again. And as you chipped away behind some big plays from 04 and Neptune, you're right back out to nearly a 100-point advantage. Now we get into our 3rd set of rotations, and you're praying for a miracle if you're Surge.
Feels like you're starting to win a couple more gunfights though, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, momentum's starting to shift, and that P2 is coming on up. It's just if you're FaZe, what do you want to do here? Do you just want to sort of chip away towards that 250 on a P1 like this? Again, staying very disciplined is FaZe, trying to find that first pick.
I'll tell you what, if there's the start of some crazy comeback, like in this series, it'd be coming back down 100. But as I'm talking through that, you go 4 dead, and it's another good setup for
We're
this.
just trying to
FaZe
put it
side.
into the air. We want to keep gassing.
No, we're trying. Surge obviously battling as well, but plucking him out of the map, out of the hard point will be aBeZy. He's got coverage there as well from his teammates. They've been so good at P2. They only need 30 more points, and they're about to head to a P2. You still have, I mean, this is incredible time if you can get it here inside of the point as well. Another 15 seconds you can earn it. Once again, everybody dropping for Surge. Last guy going to be Nasty. FaZe.
And they flipped the map. Oh,
Tasted another championship. The hard point wasn't great maybe to start Sunday. It hasn't been there at times for them in championships. So right now, it has been there. You're able to win one. You're looking to win the second one, adding to your resume, adding to your legacy. This FaZe team is absolutely unreal. Just 5 needed to close it out. Last swing in from Surge. It is done. Tack on another one for the Young Gods.
You blink and it's over.
Yeah, that was a fast one. We were expecting a battle here for Surge. Listen, you got there. It's step one. They are a contender now, and I'm excited to see what these guys are going to do. They're one of the best stories we've had this year.
Yeah, I mean, what a stage from them. Minor 2 final, Major 2 final. Just have to improve upon it. That's the goal.
They'll try to improve upon that, but improve it upon their legacy is Atlanta FaZe. Your 2025 Major 2 champions, Atlanta FaZe.